everybody, and welcome to Live at 4. It's Tuba Christmas Day.
And it is.
And it's Friday.
We found a place to put the tubas amidst all our mess here.
They're all cozy up in the front office, while the whole set is under construction. Thank you for your help.
Mark's cruising the world.
Mark's I think he's actually on the boat today.
He's probably so disappointed he's missing our nice weather we're having.
He's probably disappointed he's missing Tuba Christmas.
He is. There's no question that he's missing that, but the chill outside is, he's not missing that.
No, we'll have more on the weather in just a little bit. Also, Michael Bruno is here with Backstage with Bruno, but here's what's making news on this Friday. Madison police believe 2 men were responsible for 3 armed robberies, all in the span of less than an hour. Our Jamie Perez will describe what happened.
And a duplex fire in Fitchburg leaves 2 families homeless. The damage there estimated at about $800,000.
And some good news for drivers. Gas prices are down and expected to stay that way. Let's take a look outside today. The sun kind of helped a little bit.
It wasn't as bad as I think we thought it would be, but it is still chilly out there.
That shows you how chilly it is.
Yeah, whenever they got the smokestacks going.
That's right. The weather words for today: cold and quiet for the weekend. Chris Reese is out on the backyard weather patio. Hi, Chris.
Hello. I had to break out the jacket. It is cold out here today, and I think we're going to see some of these cooler temperatures continue as we go through the rest of tonight and into tomorrow before a gradual warm-up works in. Now, we had the sun that was helping out earlier, but now the cloud cover back into the picture, and with a little bit of a breeze, it certainly feels rather chilly out there. These clouds could produce a few flurries, but it shouldn't amount to anything major, so do be mindful of that. Temperature-wise, we do have low 20s for just about all of us. Some upper teens showing up in a lot of spots as well. Janesville, one of the warmer spots, at 25 degrees right now, and so we can thank them for the warmth. Wind chills, though, are at 17 in Janesville, and then, of course, right now in Madison, the wind chill actually 21, which is very close to where our actual air temperature is. That's because those winds are beginning to relax, and I think we're going to see more of that as we go into the afternoon. See the winds calm being reported right now in Madison, but the dew point at 7, so the air very dry, and I want to take note of that just because in case you see any flurries or so, there's not a lot of moisture. So again, it really can't amount too much. But the high today was 22 degrees, which is 11 degrees colder than where we should be for this time of the year. I do think we're going to warm up as we go through the middle of the month in time, so do be mindful of that. As we go through the rest of tonight, a few flurries possible, but we will see a lot of cloud cover. Temperatures will be falling through the teens, and then I do think our overnight low will be right around 12 degrees. Now, if you're headed out for traffic, here's how things are beginning to shape up for us. This is the Beltline at Park Street. We're seeing more and more of those backups in the easterly direction, but so far traffic is moving for the most part. That is good news. Anyways, once you get to around John Nolan and Venona Drive, all the way over towards Park Street, you're seeing some of the red or the brake lights over in the eastbound direction. Once you head downtown towards the Isthmus, where you're starting to see some of those brake lights in our typical slow spots that we have for this time of the day. But for the most part, routes are doing okay. There are no major issues or delays. Of course, we'll keep the latest on the weather and the traffic coming up a little later in the show.
All right, sounds good. Chris, thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
My pleasure.
First at 4, Madison police are investigating a string of armed robberies that happened overnight.
They're looking for 2 men they believe are connected to 3 robberies that were reported within a 40-minute span. Our Jamie Perez joins us live with more details and what police are saying. Jamie?
That's right. Hey, guys. So this is one of the gas stations behind me that was involved in that string of robberies last night. There's a liquor store that's about 2 minutes down the road that was also involved, as well as a BP gas station in the Atwood community that was also involved with that. We did get some surveillance video of those armed robberies. Take a look at this. You can see in that video that 2 men are walking in, one wearing a mask, the other wearing a hoodie that's wrapped tightly around his face, as they point a gun at the man running the register demanding money. Now, Madison police believe the 2 may have parked a couple of blocks away at each location and walked to the places that they robbed. We did speak with one of the owners of one of those places involved in this string of robberies, who says they are not surprised this happened.
We were expecting it because there's been a lot of robberies for the last 3-4 weeks, so we were ready. We knew what was going to happen.
And like I mentioned, 3 places reported robberies. The BP gas station I'm at on Mohawk Drive, just north of the Beltline off Midvale. 10 minutes later, Rocky's liquor store on the Beltline frontage road near Seminole Highway. And then 30 minutes after that, the BP gas station on Atwood Avenue. As you can imagine, this is a scary situation for anybody. And if you have any information that could possibly help Madison police in their investigation, you are asked to give them a call.
That video is frightening.
Yes.
Jamie Perez reporting live. Jamie, thank you.
Damage now estimated at about $800,000 after a fire in a Fitchburg duplex. The call came to the 3000 block of Woods Edge Way. That's near the intersection of Seminole Highway and McKee Road. The call came in about 11 last night. This fire originated in one side of a 2-unit side-by-side condo duplex. Both units were significantly damaged. The residents who were home at the time did manage to get out. There were no reported injuries during the incident. Still no word on a cause here. The Red Cross is assisting those 2 families.
A former campaign aide to President Trump was released from a federal prison in Wisconsin today. George Papadopoulos spent 12 days at the federal prison in Oxford for lying to investigators about his contact with individuals tied to Russia during the 2016 presidential campaign. He will now have 12 months of supervised release and must serve 300 hours of community service within a year and pay a fine.
Today is the deadline for the special counsel's office to submit sentencing memos for Paul Manafort and Michael Cohen. And within the past few minutes, prosecutors said ex-Trump lawyer Michael Cohen deserves substantial prison time despite his cooperation. Tom Hansen reports today's court filings are expected to reveal details about the Mueller investigation into Russian interference during the election.
Special counsel Robert Mueller's team is getting ready to recommend how long 2 former associates of President Trump should spend behind bars. Paul Manafort was one of Mr. Trump's campaign chairmen. He's accused of lying repeatedly to the special counsel's office.
Hi, Mike. What do you think is going to happen today?
Michael Cohen was the president's longtime legal fixer. He's pleaded guilty to charges stemming from payments to 2 women who alleged they had affairs with Mr. Trump. And last week, Cohen admitted he lied to Congress about plans for a Trump Tower project in Moscow.
Mr. Cohen has cooperated. Mr. Cohen will continue to cooperate.
The sentencing memos are significant because they're expected to reveal more details about the special counsel investigation. Today's filings with the federal court come just days after the special counsel recommended no jail time for President Trump's former national security advisor Michael Flynn due to his substantial cooperation with the investigation. Manafort's plea deal fell apart last month. Friday morning, President Trump used Twitter to attack the Mueller probe, claiming his legal team is preparing a counter report. Already 87 pages done, he tweeted, but obviously cannot complete until we see the final witch hunt report. In New York, Tom Hansen for WISC News 3.
President Trump is looking to fill a couple of cabinet positions, and he's made up his mind on who he wants to fill the posts for Attorney General and U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. He has picked William Barr to replace acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Barr has served in the position before. He was President George H.W. Bush's Attorney General from 1991 to 1993. Despite that, he is still somewhat of an outsider to the Trump administration.
There's no one more capable or more qualified for this role. He deserves overwhelming bipartisan support. I suspect he'll probably get it.
President Trump also announced he is nominating State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert to be the next U.S. ambassador to the UN. The former Fox News anchor will replace Nikki Haley, who resigned in October.
Anti-government protests continue to rage across France, but the man whose presidency has unleashed the anger is nowhere to be seen. French President Emmanuel Macron has stayed out of the public eye this week. Macron's pro-business reforms have aimed to make the French economy more competitive, but many French workers see the changes as too harsh and weakening their rights. The Salvation Army of Dane County is now $410,000 short of its goal.
Seeing the bell ringers is a classic sign of the holidays, of course, but the nonprofit says a majority of those shifts are unfilled. Amanda Quintana is in the news center with the message they're hoping to spread. Amanda?
Yes, well, there's only 14 days left in this campaign, and this is the biggest fundraiser for the Salvation Army. Now, their goal was to get $525,000, but right now they're only at just a little over $100,000, and only 28% of the bell ringer positions are filled. If the Salvation Army doesn't reach their goal, this will likely affect the programs that the money supports.
This time of year, we rely upon those resources, and we do a single women's shelter, and we have a family shelter. We have an after-school program. We have a variety of programs with our disaster services, and this all just helps us raise resources to put towards those programs.
The 3 remaining Saturdays are match days, so if you donate to the Christmas Kettle campaign, your money will be matched by a local philanthropic organization. Still, the Salvation Army would like to have 40 or 50% of those bell ringer positions filled. The problem is not that people aren't donating, it's just that there's not people there to collect those donations. So the Salvation Army is asking if you have just 2 hours, they want you to volunteer to be a bell ringer, and they say that in those 2 hours you can get $120 donated, and that $120 can go to 3 nights for a family in a shelter.
Just a little bit of time
makes
can
a
make
difference.
huge difference. Amanda, thank you so much. Stocks dove again on Wall Street today, extending recent declines as traders worry about the mixed messages from the White House on the U.S.-China trade war and slower economic growth now. The Dow Industrials dropped more than 558 points, closing at 24,389. The Nasdaq down 219, the S&P down nearly 63. Drivers across the country are finding a holiday gift at the gas station, lower prices. And there's the question, just how low can they go? According to AAA, the average price for a regular gallon of gas is down about 30 cents compared to a month ago. It's because there's a higher supply of oil right now.
Oil prices have mostly declined because of increased production from the Middle East, as well as increased production from the U.S.
Every state in the country has seen a double-digit drop in prices, a downward trend that's expected to continue, but enjoy it while it lasts. Prices will ramp up, of course, when you actually want to drive again, when the weather starts warming up this spring. All right, the sound of tubas will fill the state capitol over the weekend.
What we're getting a preview today, it is Madison Tuba Christmas. Find out how you can participate as well. We'll tell you all about it when Live at 4 continues.
All right, well, nothing quite says the holiday season quite like Tuba Christmas, right?
Yeah, that's right. Madison's annual Tuba Christmas is tomorrow afternoon. The guys are back in the front lobby. Hi, nice to see everybody. Happy holidays. And Steve Tweed is the coordinator of Tuba Christmas. Steve, great to see you again.
Good to be here.
So for folks who aren't familiar with Tuba Christmas, it's a Live at 4 tradition for us, but tell us a little bit about what it is.
Well, Tuba Christmas is an annual event that was started by Harvey Phillips in 1974 to celebrate the low brass playing the melody of tuba or of Christmas carols. So we've continued it here. I've been the coordinator since 2000. So, and this is the 45th year of Tuba Christmas worldwide. So anybody can come.
Our producer, Steve Kane, will tell you that I look forward to you guys coming.
Yeah.
Because it really kind of starts the season for us around here. We love to hear the sounds. Tell us a little bit about the group you've got assembled here.
This is just some friends of mine that we play in different groups around town. So, and then, you know, Jim, he kind of sets this up. So it's just whoever we can gather.
Jim Boyd is right there. Carrie Backman is back there. She was my son's band teacher in high school. I just saw you back there, Carrie.
There's a couple other teachers here too as well.
So you had to lug it to school uphill both ways. Your parents were patient with your choice to pick tuba.
My mom was the band director, so
she needed somebody to play the tuba.
And Steve, the best thing about this is if anybody watching who has a tuba can participate.
come play. Yeah,
So
it doesn't matter your level of playing or anything. Just come play with us. I mean, there's going to be, last year there was 175 players.
Oh, wow.
So we're hoping to beat 200 this year. We'll see.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I mean, schools bring buses. I mean, we have a lot of area people that come, and it's just a great time to make a day out of it.
We hope it's a great event. Before we let you guys play, just a reminder that Madison Tuba Christmas is tomorrow at 2:30 in the State Capitol Rotunda. The registration is at noon at First United Methodist Church. That's at 203 Wisconsin Avenue. And then the rehearsal is at 1 o'clock, same as registration. Happy holidays, you guys.
You too.
Take it away.
Let's hear it. All right, take a look at this incredible indoor golf trick shot. Ryan Rustin rolls a skateboard on the floor, bounces the golf ball off the wall twice, drops it right in the mug. So another look there. Let's take another look. He ups the ante by aiming for a moving target with the ricochet off both walls. Known as Coach Rusty online, he has garnered a huge following for his unique and impressive golf trick shots.
That is pretty impressive.
There you go.
Well done.
Today is December 7th, of course, National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, observed across the country, a day in honor of all those who lost their lives serving this nation at Pearl Harbor. That was 77 years ago.
As they do every year, hundreds of veterans, service members, and dignitaries gathered at Pearl Harbor. The remembrance ceremony this morning featured Pearl Harbor survivor Everett Highland, who led the crowd in a salute. Everett was standing on the deck of the USS Pennsylvania when the attack happened, as Eric said, 77 years ago today, leaving 2,403 Americans dead. It was an attack that would throw the United States into war. Daniel Martinez, historian with the World War II Valor in the Pacific National Monument, added that only about 100 World War II veterans are at Friday's ceremony, and that is markedly smaller than the number of veterans who came out 2 years ago for the 75th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Well, it's also National Illinois Day. It's National Illinois Day, a day to recognize the land of Lincoln, home to the Windy City and fertile prairies.
It's also National Cotton Candy Day, dating all the way back to the 1400s when it was first called spun sugar. Cotton candy has been a favorite treat, of course, for young and old alike at carnivals, fairs, and the circus as well.
No props this time.
I know. Sorry about that, Chris. And
where's our cotton candy?
Whenever Eric fills in, we never have props for some reason.
They think
Sorry.
I've had enough cotton
I'll fix
candy.
that next week, I promise.
Well, you're hyper enough, I guess.
Yes.
Well, something to get hyper about is the sunshine and our forecast. Plus, we need you to move around. It's going to keep you warm.
Yeah.
Things are going to be staying cold through the weekend, but there are signs of a warm-up gradually through the week. We will talk about that in the full forecast coming up. Well, about 11 degrees below where we should be for this time of the year is where our high temperature is shaped up. 22 is as warm as we've made it, which is good news because initially we thought we'd only make it to about 19 or 20. But we did make it to a couple degrees warmer than expected. Still, though, we should have made it to 33 degrees today. We're just not quite there yet. That will come in due time. Some of us did stay in the teens for those highs. Wautoma at 19. Same for Camp Douglas. You head down towards Janesville. You guys made it to 25 degrees today. Same for our friends over in Boscobel. And across the upper Midwest, it was the teens and the 20s overall for those highs. The Twin Cities at 24, 14 the high in Marshfield, Wisconsin, one of the colder spots across the state today. But oddly enough, those high temperatures shape up with where a lot of those air temperatures are right now. We have dropped 1 degree here in Madison down to 21 degrees. The winds are calm, though, and so that's actually helping to eliminate a wind chill, and we will continue to see winds relax as we go through the afternoon and evening. Any winds that are out there are very light, around 3 miles per hour here, 8 miles per hour in Lone Rock. They are coming out of the west and northwest. At Lone Rock, it feels like 14. In Wautoma, it feels like 8. In Madison, it feels like the actual air temperature, just because those winds have pretty much lightened up to the point that it's not really going to have an impact on how it feels out there. We'll continue to see that through the night. By tomorrow morning, there really shouldn't be much in the way of any kind of wind here in south central Wisconsin. Then through tomorrow afternoon, a light breeze, but check out the direction. Winds beginning to come out of the south. That is a warming wind, and I do think there will be more where that came from. Now, outside of the cold, we have seen more cloud cover stream back into the picture. It's possible to get a few flurries coming out of the sky as well, but for the most part, I do think most of us will be dry. The big system that we are watching is across the south. This is bringing flash flooding to parts of Houston, along with freezing rain to parts of the Panhandle and over towards Oklahoma. We're really keeping a close eye, though, on the Carolinas. That is where the true brunt of the system will be felt. We are talking a major winter storm, perhaps a once-in-a-generation winter storm for a lot of western North Carolina. Winter storm warnings in the pink. Here's how things are actually going to play out. We're going to watch what begins as rain for our friends in the southeast, going over to snow tomorrow night and into early Sunday morning. That snow and freezing rain will last through the Carolinas, really going all the way into parts of Monday. This is a long duration system for them. For us, we are going to be staying dry. We'll watch that system pass to the south, but high pressure is going to keep it that way. We're going to be dry and chilly going through the next several days, but that high pressure does mean some sunshine for us as well. But eventually, as it works its way towards the east, we get in on a southwesterly wind, and that does mean some warming conditions. Let's go ahead and track that hour by hour. Tonight, we'll find those lows right around 10 to 12 degrees. Throughout the day tomorrow, warming up a little bit more. We'll see those highs into the upper 20s and low 30s. Same as we go into your Sunday. Right now, the future crack only showing a high of about 27, but I do think we will actually be able to add a couple degrees to that going into your Sunday, right around 29. Then we hit the 30s by early next week, and check this out, temperatures will actually be above average. It's been a while since we've said that. Temperatures have been below average really for so long, but that core of cold will be moving away from Wisconsin. We'll get some milder air in by the middle of next week, but still followed up with some cold shots. Even still, though, those cold shots won't be as cold. The true Arctic air will be bottled up in Canada as we go through the next couple of weeks. So I do think we have an above average, or a good probability of above average temperatures. Thing is, the storm track will be over the eastern half of the country. That means a high probability of above normal precipitation as well. 12 degrees tonight, partly cloudy and cold as we head into tomorrow. 27 degrees, mostly sunny, and again gradually warming as we go through the next 7 to 10 days. We are going to be remaining dry. Check out that 33 showing up on Tuesday. That's cause for celebration. 36 by Thursday. That, however, will come with a chance of some light rain and snow. We're going to be watching that one closely. Right now, it doesn't look like a big deal, but we could see some light rain or snow around here. So, of course, we will watch that.
Yeah, it is chilly out there, but at least the sun does make it feel a little bit tolerable.
It really does. Once that sun set, you know, I haven't worn a jacket all day today, but once the sun set back there on the patio, I just had to bundle up.
When he's not in the sweater vest, you know there's reason to be concerned.
That's true.
That's a good indicator.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. And Chris will keep us up to date on the cold Saturday and Sunday morning here on News 3.
And then stay tuned for CBS Sunday Morning. Jane Pauley, the anchor of CBS Sunday Morning, joins us now with a preview of what is on the broadcast this weekend. Hi, Jane, what's on tap?
Hey, Susan, thanks for asking. Well, we range far, wide, and deep this week, from the secrets of the Titanic to the iconic luxury of fashion designer Ralph Lauren, and a new name on the scene. It's only been a year since the first of her chart-topping releases, and I'm betting almost everyone has heard of rapper Cardi B. From her astonishing looks to her provocative lyrics, people can't get enough of Cardi B. She talks with Maurice Dubois, and here's a clip.
I feel like people feel like I'm very reachable. When I talk, I make a lot of mistakes. Like, I might say words, and the words are not even in the dictionary. But people still like it because you can tell that I'm saying it from the heart.
Cardi B is the first female rapper to have 3 #1 Billboard hits. And, Susan, I mean, in the last year. What a year she's had. I'm surprised her head's not spinning off her body.
Oh, yeah, really looking forward to that. Definitely one of the year's most interesting people. And I understand you have a holiday-themed segment as well.
Well, yeah, it's time for our annual visit from Technoclaus, otherwise known as our very plugged-in contributor, David Pogue. He'll give us a sneak peek at some of the latest tech toys and gizmos out there, from a portable folding keyboard you can use with your cell phone, to a remote camera that lets you keep a close eye on your pets while you're at work. And not only can you talk to Kitty, you can dispense treats on demand. All that and a whole lot more coming up this Sunday.
We are looking forward to it. We will see you Sunday morning. Jane, thanks so much.
Thank you, Susan.
And CBS Sunday Morning airs at 8 a.m. right here on WISC-TV.
Jane Pauley, Indiana University graduate.
That's I know you.
Harvard of the Midwest.
Very
Women are marking a comeback in this year's nominations for the Grammys.
When we come back, who got the nods for Best Album and Best Song? That's when Live at 4 continues. Here's a live picture downtown as the lights are coming on. The sun is setting on a Friday afternoon.
Grammy nominations were announced live on CBS this morning. Kendrick Lamar leads the field with 8 nominations, followed by Drake with 7.
Chris Martinez has a wrap-up.
Dirty Computer, Janelle Monáe.
Oh my God, really?
Janelle Monáe got choked up on CBS this morning after Norah O'Donnell announced she was nominated for the Grammys Album of the Year award.
I'm sorry. It's not about me, it's about a community of dirty computers, of marginalized voices. Being a young, black, queer woman in America.
I don't even want your congratulations.
Kendrick Lamar's Black Panther soundtrack is also up for Album of the Year. The hip-hop star earned the most nominations with 8. Drake followed closely behind with 7 nominations, including Album, Song, and Record of the Year. Rounding out the list for Best Album, Cardi B, Casey Musgraves, Her, Brandi Carlile, and Post Malone. Shawn Mendes earned his first 2 ever nominations, including one for Song of the Year for In My Blood.
You kind of are not expecting it to feel so crazy, and then you hear your name, and it actually is really super emotional. Yeah.
He's up against Kendrick Lamar's All the Stars, Ella Mai's Boot Up, Drake's God's Plan, Brandi Carlile's The Joke, Zed Gray's The Middle, Lady Gaga's Shallow, and Childish Gambino's This Is America. Bebe Rexha is one of 6 women nominated for Best New Artist. Women also account for 5 of the Best Album nominees, a change from last year when women were mostly overlooked in the top categories. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now, this is the first year where the Grammys have expanded the nominees from 5 to 8 in each category.
Ariana Grande, one of the most successful artists of the year, was actually shut out of the big prizes, landing only 2 nominations in the pop categories. The Grammys will air live. It'll be February 10th right here on WISC-TV.
When we come back, it's an award-winning Broadway show that's now being performed at Madison West High School.
Bruno's here. He's going backstage to their production of The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Stay with us.
Well, happy Friday. Let's go ahead and show you guys how the evening traffic is shaping up. The Beltline is backed up per usual on a Friday. Lots of brake lights going in the easterly direction there. So far, westbound is shaping up just a little bit better than the eastbound direction. But once you come towards about John Nolan, again, this is going eastbound though, but from John Nolan all the way back towards Verona Road, it is going to be slow going. 9 miles per hour, the average speed towards Verona Road, 21 miles per hour as you come up towards John Nolan. Downtown on the Isthmus, still seeing some brake lights, but traffic is better than we've seen it in other days. Just some moderate delays, nothing major showing up there. And across Dane County, for the most part, we are seeing a lot of green on the highways and roadways. Let's jump down to our friends in Janesville. So far, most traffic is looking great for you guys. There are a few slowdowns on the northern part of town, but for the most part, all routes are cruising along. Yes, it's slow going in some spots, but no major crashes or delays to slow you down as you head home on your Friday afternoon. Guys.
All right. Chris, thank you very much. In 2015, the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime won the Tony for Best Play on Broadway.
It's the story of a 15-year-old who is a mathematical genius and on the autism spectrum, who investigates the death of a neighbor's dog. But it's actually a story within a story. Michael Bruno went backstage for Madison West High School's version of the play.
To be a good astronaut, you have to be intelligent. And I'm intelligent. You have to be good at understanding how machines work. And I'm good at understanding how machines work.
You also have to be someone who would like being on their own in a tiny spacecraft thousands of miles above the surface of the Earth and not get nervous or claustrophobia or insane.
And so the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime revolves around a young boy named Christopher.
And his journey to find out who killed his neighbor's dog.
And he writes a book about it. And so the play is seen through his perspective. It's his world.
But it really becomes more than just kind of that mystery. It's a lot about his relationship with his family, with other adults in his life.
And so he goes on an adventure to find his mother. And like I said, he has these different challenges, like many of us do. And we get to see how he overcomes those challenges with the help of his teacher, Siobhan.
Well, it's great.
It's not a proper book.
Why not?
It's not a proper book because it doesn't have a proper ending. You never figure out who killed Wellington, and so the murderer is still at large.
Not all murderers are solved. Not all murderers are caught.
Father said that Mr. Shears is an evil man. Does that mean that he could have killed Wellington?
How did you approach the role? Because obviously he's on the spectrum of autism,
Yes.
right? So how difficult was that for you as an actor?
It's very difficult. It's still difficult. I've definitely done research, and our cast has talked to a girl who is on the spectrum, and just reading it and definitely working off my own personal things too to help me understand and fully grasp different pieces so that I don't act too much as I'm playing someone on the spectrum, so that I can more personally feel it.
And I would know that I could look through a tiny window and know that there's no one else around me for thousands and thousands.
Christopher?
So Siobhan is Christopher's teacher. So I think what she represents is she really, truly understands him more than anybody else. And she's his rock, she's his constant. She's there to basically support him. And I feel like she kind of has this motherly instinct towards him where she's truly invested in his achievements, truly wants to watch him on his journey to solve this mystery.
It's not about some spectacular hero. There's not a lot of it's not a musical with a lot of crazy songs in it. It's really just kind of taking apart life little by little, which I think really helps just provide a better picture of how to live every day with more awareness about autism.
What I think is interesting about theater is that it gives us the opportunity to be able to learn about one another. It's a wonderful platform to be able to go on an adventure with another person and to see their experiences, finding, yes, we have our differences, but we also have our similarities. And through that, we can understand another person.
But if they didn't let me, I would still go, because it would be a dream come true.
And Michael is here now. Hi, Michael. Boy,
Hi.
what a provocative, interesting show.
This is an incredibly intense and really well-written and beautiful, beautiful play. And these high school kids just do an amazing job with it. It's a very difficult and thought-provoking piece of theater.
Yeah.
And Holly's done a beautiful job with adding movement and dance and visual, creative, beautiful, beautiful pieces of multi-visual art with it. It's really, and the kids are great. It's really, really, really encouraging to see these kids take on a piece of theater like this.
You could tell that Emmett, he's researched it. Brilliant young people. In this.
And I said they had people who actually came and spoke with them to talk about autism and the different ranges on the spectrum of autism. Because sometimes it's really difficult when you're trying to portray somebody that has autism or has any kind of otherness about them, that you don't overact it. You don't make it look like it's something that looks, oh, they're really over portraying this. He does a beautiful job with it. I give him a lot of credit. These West High School kids are doing a wonderful job with this piece of theater.
I understand this show is not for children under 12. Is that right?
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Because there's some strong language in it.
But it also deals with some very, very heavy subjects in there. It's not like a lighthearted musical like we usually see with the high schools this time of year. But it is a very wonderful drama. It won the Tony Award in 2015, so it's a powerful piece of theater.
Yeah, and a big honor for West High School.
Yes, it's one of the very few high schools that got a chance to do the performance.
Oh, that's great.
Beautiful venue too.
Yeah, it's a great theater. I did many shows back there in the day back when I was in high school.
The curious incident of the dog in the nighttime at Madison West High School is tonight, tomorrow, and next Friday and Saturday, 7 o'clock, all nights. For more information or to reserve tickets, go to eventbrite.com. Great job, Michael. And what's coming up next time?
Next week, it's a holly jolly Christmas at the Palace Theater in the Dells.
All right.
Santa's back.
It's that time of the year. Bruno, good to see you. Have a great weekend.
Great to see you. Have a good weekend. We'll be right back.
Well, obviously, it was a cold one today. Maybe some light at the end of the tunnel next week.
There might be, but it's going to be another cold night. Not as cold as last night, thankfully. I think we're going to add just a couple degrees, but we take every degree we can get. So 12 degrees overnight tonight into the day tomorrow. I do think we'll be several degrees warmer than today. I think we'll see those highs right around 27 degrees. That's going to be thanks to a light wind coming out of the south and west. But enjoy that. More sunshine comes into the picture tomorrow as well.
All right. Chris, thank you.
Thank you,
Anytime.
Chris. Here's what's coming up Monday on Live at 4. Nutritionist Julie Andrews will be here. She's making recipes from her brand new cookbook based on the DASH eating plan.
And Julia Roberts returns to theaters, and Ben is back, and we'll have a review from Will Loper. That's Monday on Live at 4. Mark is on vacation, but that doesn't stop Lola and Louie. They've been hard at work finding the best animal stories of the week.
Here's this week's edition of Lola's Lowdown. This week on the Lowdown, a surprising hot tub visitor.
Rare white lion cubs are named.
And pigs and paper, a perfect partnership.
But first, a 37-year-old siamang named Eloise gave birth at the San Diego Zoo, providing the zoo with its first siamang infant in more than 12 years. Siamang are a species of gibbon found in the tropical forests of Malaysia and Indonesia. As with all gibbon species, they are listed as endangered, so this new little one is a welcomed addition.
The 4 rare white lion cubs born at a zoo in Germany now have names. In a ceremony open to all visitors, Amari, Nyala, Simba, and Tajo were officially introduced. White lions are not albinos, but a genetic rarity. There are about 200 of them worldwide under human care, and only 15 in the African wild. That's how rare they are.
These little piggies are ready for winter with shredded paper mixed with their hay. In the northwestern Canadian provinces, they call this northern hay, and it's making a lot of piglets very happy. The more paper that ends up here, the less